So I was gonna wait for my brother to leave because this is so awkward. I don't want anyone to hear me. But here we go. So this is a paint over video, and I asked people on DeviantArt to submit their drawings or paintings if they wanted me to paint over them. I started out by figuring out the gesture lines. That's the red lines. Then the green lines are the shoulder angle and hip angle, which are, in this drawing, they're not parallel. Usually they're not parallel. If they're parallel, then it makes the figure look really stiff. So as you can see on the left, they're converging. If they continue, they converge into a single point. Now I'm doing the dress, which I changed a little bit because on their drawing, it looks like it's part of the form of the person. Like it doesn't stick out at all on the left side. So I changed that part, and the belt looks like it's going straight across. And to make her torso look more round, like it's a 3D form, you want to make a curve, like it's going around her stomach. Now I'm trying to figure out the arm and shoulder area, which is really hard because of the way they drew it. It looks like the neck is too much to the right and the shoulders are a little bit narrow, at least from what I can see. Especially because she's a wrestler, I would think she'd have broader shoulders and maybe a little more muscular arms. That's just my take on it. And as you can see, I cut her head off for now because I couldn't figure it out with all of those lines underneath, so I just took it all out and redrew the whole thing. And that middle line on the face is just to figure out where her face is pointing towards, so you can base everything else off of it. You don't have to do that, but it helps. This part, I'm still figuring out the right arm, her left arm, which is really hard because of the position. I think I painted over it 2 or 3 times, getting really muddy, so I changed colors, but it didn't help. And still not helping. And I added some blue in for the shadows because when you have warm colors, they come forward, so you use that for the main skin tone, and then you use the cooler colors for the shadows so that they recede. At first glance, I noticed that hands were too small. And I wanted to keep the hands somewhat similar to what they had, but just make them a little more natural and much bigger. If you want to use easy trick, you hold down Control-T. That's free transform in Photoshop, and you just select the area you want to change and then press that, and you can manipulate it like the head I just did right now. You can either resize it perfectly to scale if you lock it, or if you have it unlocked, you can skew it, warp it, put it into different perspectives, all kinds of things. It's a really useful tool. Now I'm working on the arm again. I tried to hide it in the shadows, but that didn't work. So brought it back into the light. Adding some red to the skin so that it looks more alive. And as you can see, now I'm adding the hair, at least the base color for the hair. I always like using more than one color because it's just more realistic and less like stagnant. Figuring out the face, sort of based on the original, but mostly kind of made it up. It's really hard doing that side eye that's sort of out of view because of the perspective. It's easy to make it not align with the other eye or just kind of look off from the face. This is one of those poses where if you get it right, it looks really good, but it's really hard to get it right. Adding some lighter orangey colors to the hair, some highlights, make it look more 3D. And back to that shoulder. It's starting to look a lot more human. I could have used reference for this, which you should do, but I didn't want to go looking for one that perfectly matched this one, so I just tried to do what felt right to me. Might be wrong. And I didn't know what colors that the artist wanted to use for her outfit, so I just chose my own. And I totally forgot that she was wearing shorts, so until later, she doesn't have any pants. There we go. Another thing you should do all the time is flip the canvas so that it's like you're looking at it in a mirror, because you'll see all the mistakes you've made, which you normally wouldn't see because you've been staring at it for so long. It's like you're looking at it for the first time. And then you can always flip it back. As you can see, that arm still looks really wrong. And the other arm looks huge right now. Hopefully I'm going to change it. One thing I always forget is establishing a clear light source, which you should do from the beginning. It makes it a lot easier. Right now I'm adding some blues, again, to have the shadows recede more. And I feel like if you use it on a different layer, it's a lot easier because you can reduce the opacity if you put too much, or you can erase it without losing the skin tone you have underneath. You can do that with many colors. You don't have to just use one blue. You could use purples, and you could make highlights in like warmer yellows, or if you want a cool light, you can use different greens and whatever you want. But having it on separate layer really makes it easier to change later on. Or if you decide you don't want it, you don't ruin the whole painting. Now I'm adding some shadows. I still need to flip it back, which I think I forgot to do. This is cleaning up some of the outer edges, adding some yellow light. Guess I left that arm how it was. I'm not happy with it, but this is already over 2 hours, so. Okay, if you want your painting painted over or drawing, just submit it to the website in the description below. Thanks for watching.